I met the kid AZ.
Produced by Contracts Productions.
This is when I met AZ. I wanted to step to him. I found out who he was, and I stepped to him because I heard he was the young cat up there getting it. So I wanted to step into him and talking to him like, yo, this is who I am. Because like I said, like I told you earlier, I didn't have no problem.
That's right.
With asking people for some work and, you know, put me down.
Right.
I wound up stepping to him. He was like, yo, come see me. I heard about you. You know, so I said, all right. And this is when he had 145th Street.
All right.
I'm 145th between 7th and 8th, the jukebox. You know, and AZ was young, and AZ was getting it. He was getting it. He was the young kid busting out with the Audis, and this is when they had the Audi. This is when the Audi 4000s was popular. So he wound up. He wound up. You know, I didn't see him no more. I was waiting for him to get back to me. So I was still doing my thing. I was eating. You know, I wound up stepping to A at that time. I remember it was on 139th Street and 7th Avenue over there by the Wendy's. They used to have the games on Lenox Avenue. So I went there, I asked him this and that, and I knew what he was into. And I told him, I said, yo, I'm on the east side, because I started hustling around my mother's way again, too. So I said, yo, I'm on the east side. Can you give me some bottles?
Contracts
You know, because I knew he was into the bottles for $10 and all that. I said, yo, can you give me some bottles?
All right.
This was the powder thing. No crack. This was the powder thing. So he was kind of reluctant at first. He didn't really, but he told me to get back with him. So, you know, you tell me that, I'm going to get back with you. So I got back with him. One thing led to another. I wound up getting bottles from him, and he wound up hitting me.
Okay.
He wound up hitting me, and I took him to the east side, and I was doing a little something over there. I was eating. So I started doing a little something. I was flipping the bottles. It wasn't what I was used to, but my brother was grinding. He was doing his thing.
That's right.
Waiting for opportunity again. So I kept on coming back at him. He was like, damn, you flipping these like that? I said, yo, I'm doing all right. But, you know, I had money saved up, so even if I wasn't flipping it, I was just taking the money out of my stash and paying him to have him believe that I was flipping it like that. So I wound up stepping to him, telling him, like, yo, man, you know, I got a little store over there I'm trying to get. We can go half-half on it, whatever, and we could do something. So he was like, yo, all right. So he said, go ahead and get the store, and I got you. So I went up and I got the store, whatever, gave the man like $10,000 or something like that. And I had the little store over there for a little while. But the east side, you know, it wasn't really like the west side. It was cool, but the money wasn't there like that around there. They wasn't used to spending $10 on some coke and all that around there. So it was all right. So that wasn't really coming fast enough for me. So I stepped to him again. I said, yo, man. I said, yo, put me down with you, man. Let me be a part of your crew. You know. This day I stepped to him. He had the jukebox for it, but he was starting something new on 34th Street between 7th and Lenox.
Okay.
He was starting a new spot over there. And I stepped to him. I was like, yo, man, let me be down with you. And this day I stepped to him. Some dudes had shot at him or stepped to him about something.
Okay.
Now this is how I got in with A. This is how I really became like down with him. Because the other thing I was just getting hit from him.
Okay.
But this is how I became down with him. I stepped to him on 34th Street. It was at night, and he had a couple of his little, I'm not even gonna call them soldiers. He had a couple of his little workers around him and all that. And some dudes had shot at him or tried to stick them up or something. And he was telling me this, and he was getting frustrated. And I was like, yeah, whatever. He was upset about it. So I was like, yo, what you gonna do? And he was like, yo, we gonna go find them cats. We gonna this, that. I said, well, bet. I said, just give me 15, 20 minutes. I gotta shoot back to the east side, get my guns, and I'm back over here.
Okay.
So I do all that. You know, everybody do their thing. His little workers, they go get whatever little guns they got, wherever they got them at. That's when I was the only one that came back. Me and another person, came back. And I'm the only one that came back. And like another guy. So I came back with 2 guns blazing. I said, well, let's go do this, man.
Okay.
So we wound up looking for the dudes, and we wound up finding them, and we wound up finding one of them, and we wound up busting him down in order, but he got into his building or whatever, so we couldn't get to him in order, but we wound up letting him know, like, yo, we busting our guns too.
Productions.
And we was trying to kill this kid. And that's how I got in, and he took a liking to that and put me down with him. So now I'm running with him. After that day, I'm down with him as one of his soldiers.
Okay.
I'm there. I'm working. So I see opportunity. So I said, okay, this is where I need to be. This is where I need to be. This is who I need to work with. This is who I need to impress. This is who I need to get up under. So I ain't got no problem with that, man. I know how to grind. I started from the bottom. So I wound up getting with him, and I truly have to say and give all to AZ. When I met A, I've never looked back. I'm going to give him that. Definitely, everything I've achieved as far as in the game and this and that was definitely because of A. So now we in 34th Street, we 45th Street, and I'm down with him, and I'm doing all the dirty work. And, I'm taking care of, if dudes is, I don't know if you remember this kid named Travis, he had put this kid Travis down with him, and the kid Travis was slipping his own bottles up in the spot, and AZ knew. One thing about A, he knew his work, man. He knew what he should get, what he shouldn't get.
Produced by Contracts Productions.
And he's also used to send people to go buy his stuff to see if it was being switched. And we found out that this kid Travis was switching up the bottles. So make a long story short with that, we wound up beating the kid Travis down. Who wound up beating the kid down? Me. I wound up beating the kid Travis down, trying to throw him out the second floor window.
Okay.
Because, he robbing from my man A.
That's right.
And I got to let you know you can't do this. So I tried to throw the kid out the window and all that, and we didn't succeed. I was trying to tie his neck up. I was trying to tie this joint around his neck and throw him out the window and let him hang.
Okay.
But we didn't succeed, so we wound up beating him down and all that, so we got rid of him. So that was that, and I used to be the person that, AZ used to put me through a lot of he used to test me a lot of little times. He used to, he would give me a certain amount of bricks or whatever and tell me, go bottle them up. I was getting in positions like that where he was trusting me with the work and telling me to go bottle it up.
You were actually bottling up whole bricks?
Huh?
Whole bricks?
Yeah, whole bricks. Yeah, A didn't play that. A didn't play bottle up this. You had to bottle up the whole brick. Because the spot, not just 34th, but 45th Street was moving so quickly. At times, it was doing 2-3 bricks a day.
How much was that bottled up?
Bottled up, that was probably about, one brick was probably seeing,
Produced by
40,
Contracts
50,000
Productions.
for one brick. So that was a lot of bottles. So I used to take it to my mother's house sometimes, bottle it up. That's when I was still with Mama. I used to go back to Mama Duke's house and all that.
Right.
And I used to do my thing there. I had other little apartments that I used to do. So he used to hit me with the bricks, say, bottle this up, call me when you finish. Or he would come. So like I said, he was trusting me with the work, and I was, I was working my way in position. So I was always with him, doing my thing and all that. We started getting real popular as far as people started saying, yo, them kids
Produced
is
by
getting
Contracts
it.
Productions.
Yeah, them kids is getting it because they seen AZ had the Audis and the little Benzes and all that, and this car, that car, and then, so they started hearing about it. They said, that jukebox is getting money, and people started seeing the lines and this and that. I mean, it was ridiculous. Again, it was ridiculous. We used to tell customers, wait on the other side. And that's how come you had to bottle up everything once we got it, because you could never give it a time where they was going to wait. You couldn't have the customers waiting too long. You had to always be ready for them. I mean, they was coming like that. You figure we was giving up almost close to a half a gram for $10.
$10.
No cut, straight raw.
Produced by Contracts
No cut,
Productions.
no chaser, straight off the brick into the bottle. Coming straight off the brick into the bottles, man, and we was bottling it up. And like I said, he used to put me through little things, but I seen the bigger picture, so there was no reason for me. And I wasn't trifling like that, where I had to stash bottles and this and that. I was happy.
Right.
He was treating me good. I was happy in my position. I seen the bigger picture.
Right.
So there was no reason for me to be petty like that, because he wasn't petty with me.
Right.
A was a good dude, man. I mean, A was a good dude. Not until now that I seen the pettiness, but back then he was a good dude, and he was allowing me to eat. So that was that, and so now the jukebox getting real popular. So now the stick-up kids come out. The stick-up kids are starting to come out. You know what I mean? They starting to come out, and they robbed the spot. They hit the spot a couple of times.
Okay.
They hit the spot a couple of times, so that was really becoming a concern of AZ's. He was really getting
Contracts
frustrated that they kept
Production
on
for
coming.
Feds Magazine.
So, that was becoming a concern for AZ.
Yeah, that was becoming a big concern. That was becoming a concern for AZ, because he wasn't really used to dealing with that. And they used to come in and close the gate and just rob everything that was in there, Take the bottles, the money, and nobody never got killed when they used to come stick us up. So I stepped to we got to put a stop to this. And I'm quickly thinking murder.
Okay.
We gotta put the murder game down. So we wind up finding out who's setting it up. So we wind up snatching one kid up and throwing him in a van.
Okay.
And making him tell us who the other stick-up kids were.
Okay.
So he wound up doing that, and we didn't kill him that day. We didn't kill him that day, and I was basically in charge of this mission.
All right.
Because I was putting it down like that. So I wound up recruiting two dudes. I wound up recruiting two other dudes, and
Produced
we
by
took care of the
Contracts
situation.
Productions.
Okay.
We the ones who were sticking up, the ones who we caught up to, they got it. The ones who we didn't, they either in jail or they never came back again once they seen that their friends was falling.
All right, I got you.
Yeah, once they seen that their friends was falling, and locations that the bodies was, a couple of bodies fell on like 145th Street and 8th Avenue.
You got charged with a few bodies over there?
Oh, well, we get to that.
Okay.
Yeah, we get to that. So we took care of it, and the stick up thing stopped.
Okay.
After that, of course. The stick up kids, they stopped coming, and but AZ was really concerned because it was like getting out of hand. He kind of felt it was getting out of hand, and he felt that, you know, this just not worth it to me no more. And so that's when he started to really put more focus on 34th Street.
Okay.
You understand?
Mm-hmm. So where'd you take it from there?
Okay, so he started to put more focus on 34th Street. So now he has to make a decision, like, who is he going to leave? Because 45th Street is still getting money. Mm-hmm. It's not as much as when he first started, but it's still good money. So now, like I said, going back, AZ was putting focus on 34th Street now because he didn't really want to deal with the drama of 45th Street. So he had an apartment that we used to do things in Lenox Terrace, right across the street from the spot he was starting to build up on 34th Street. Mm-hmm. He called like a little semi-meeting amongst like his brother and the kid Stanley and all that, and he asked them like, do they want the spot? But they were so used to being, you know, basically like spoon-fed, that they wasn't ready to leave the nest. And A was like the nest and the comfort. They wasn't ready to leave from up under him. So they was like saying, no, we're going to stay down here with you, A, on 34th Street and start this new spot. And they was used to that. They liked that.
Okay.
And the kid Stanley was like, nah, I don't want it, you know, or too many problems up there. So when it came to me, I was like, hell yeah. Hell yeah. That was the
Produced
day
by Contracts
when
Productions.
Poe was doing his thing. So he said, all right, well, then it's yours, man. This is what you know what to do because you've been down a while now, so you know how to do it. You know this and that. So we had an agreement that he would see about 10,000, 15,000 off of every brick or something, like 10,000 off of every brick. Mm-hmm. Because he was still giving me, I didn't have a connect yet. That's why he give me bricks and all that. So my money was funny.
Okay.
And now I know I got me a gold mine now because I still seen the gold mine and I was willing to protect it at any means necessary.
Okay.
And if it was taking somebody's life and killing somebody because they wanted to come take what I was doing, then so be it.
Okay.
So I knew I wasn't gonna really be up at the spot like that because I thought that was past that hanging. So what I did was I got with some kids from the area up there. A kid named was Jay. He was pretty known up around that area, so I knew. Because I'm saying to myself, as A is telling me he's gonna give me the spot, I'm saying to myself, okay, now I gotta put my own crew together and get a crew up in here because everybody else gonna want to go with A and hustle with A.
That's right.
So I said I gotta get my own crew together. So I was thinking about bringing some East Side dudes up there, but then I said, no, you gotta get some dudes from around the area to avoid problems. So the kid Kato introduced me to the kid Jay, so I met the kid Jay and I was like, yo, this is what's happening. I got 45th, I got the jukebox. I'll put you down, and whoever else you put under you, that's on you. You know what I mean? That's your crew.
Okay.
But I'm just dealing with him. You follow me?
I'll follow you.
So my thing is with him. So AZ's giving me the coke, whatever, for a little while. So I'm just going along with it because it's respect that he gave me this. So it's only right that I make sure he sees some money out of it, and it's still almost like his spot, but I'm running it.
Okay.
So he's giving me the coke and all that, and I got the kid Jay down. So what he's giving me, I'm hitting the kid Jay. So give you an example. If AZ was paying like, I think at the time 14 for a brick, he was charging me. If he was paying 14, 15, he was charging me 25 for the joint. I was giving it to the kid for 35 because it's my spot. To him, it's my spot. I'm paying for the bottles. I'm paying for every loss. I'm paying for the coke and all that. All you doing is making sure that the money's right and the work is getting put in there right. A getting his little 10, 12. I'm getting my little 10, 12. Then the kids, he seeing his little 15 or whatever, and then he paying the crew and all that. That's all he got to do is pay the crew.
Right.
Well, how many other dudes he got down with him?
Right.
So everybody's getting money. So this goes on for a little while. I save up enough money to start doing my own thing now, getting my own bricks.
That's right.
So I remember going with A couple of times to the Connect and all that. So I wound up seeing the Connect. So they still thinking AZ got something to do with 45th Street, and they used to come see him around there. So they come around there, and then they see me now. They're like, yo, what's up, man? I was like, no, what's up? What's up with y'all? You trying to do something? One thing led to another. I wind up dealing with them.
Okay.
So now I step to A, and I'm like, yo, this is what's happening, man. I saved up enough money. I'm starting to see Raymond. I'm starting to go see them and this and that. So his 34th Street is starting to pump too. So he's like, yo, whatever, man, you go ahead, that's your thing. So eventually I just fade him out. And he don't get no more money from 45th Street.
Right.
And he's cool with that because he wasn't greedy for money, so he's cool with his 34th Street thing because that's starting to do like a brick a day, a brick every 2 days. So 45th Street becomes all mine now. 45th Street is mine now. No one getting no money out of there but me and the kid Jay. And so I got the kid Jay down. The kid Jay is good. He happy. He on. He's rolling. 40-50 done pick back up, because I'm getting, I'm seeing, I'm getting 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bricks now from the kids. So we flooding 40-50 again. It's back to where A had it at. But nothing good ever, nothing like that ever lasts forever.
Nothing ever lasts forever.
So people started opening up like crack spots around there. But if they was opening up crack spots, we didn't really care about that. As long as they wasn't opening up no powder coke thing type thing.
Right.
So one thing led to another. Little beef started coming. The money started getting kind of low. The kid Jay started getting kind of conniving, and I say conniving as far as, I used to get a lot of little phone calls like, yo, because he used to have this kid down with him named Manny, so I used to get a lot of little phone calls like, yo, Manny had to jump out the cab and he left 2 bricks in the cab. Police got this, police got that. So I started losing money.
Right.
That kind of like faded out. And so again, I started seeing the bigger picture, like, yo, I'm losing money. It's not really worth it to me no more up here.
Right.
So in that whole thing, before the end to 40-50 for me, we're going to jump into a Rich situation, okay?
Okay.
Me and Rich, like I said, when he came home after that year in prison, I think it was for a pistol, we hooked up. We became cool, real cool. It was sort of, the best way to put it is that I was filling that spot that L.A. had left.
Okay.
Because it was Rich in L.A. Anybody you asked, it was all about Rich in L.A. back in the 80s and all that.
Okay, now what'd you say?
I said I was filling that spot.
Okay.
Basically, if you really looked at it, people who knew about Rich in L.A., I was filling that spot that L.A. had left.
Okay.
Because he got killed.
How did he get killed?
L.A. got killed outside of the rooftop. He got shot up outside of the rooftop. This when the rooftop was real popular, like 85. Again, me and Rich's relationship became real strong, man. We became like the best of buddies and all that. I mean,
It's a
and
contracts production for Feds
don't
magazine.
really understand is that all 3 of us was doing our own thing.
Okay.
We were all doing our own thing, but it wasn't no problem if A needed whatever kind of money, or if Rich needed, or if I needed. It wasn't no problem for me to come to these dudes and be like, yo, let me get that, man. I need that for something. So in Rich and I's friendship, we used to like a lot of the same cars. We was like some of the first young dudes to bust out with the convertible BMs, and all 3 of us were the ones who first came out when they switched over to the new Jeeps.
Okay.
We was the first ones with them. Me and A bust out with the 7s.
Black and white?
Yeah, the 735s.
Okay.
I remember we bust out with them, and I.
Did y'all pay cash?
Huh?
Did y'all pay cash?
Oh, every car we had was cash.
Every car.
Oh, we had titles to everything. We didn't know nothing about finance. No. Out of 55 cars, only 1 was ever financed for me, and I was trying to build some credit for somebody.
Okay.
So yeah, we bust out with the 7s, and because first A went and bought a black joint.
Okay.
So then I seen Josh, man, I'm going to get me one too. So I like the black joint too. So when I came through 132nd Street with my black joint, he seen the joint. He pulled me over. He was like, yo, Paul, we both got black joints. We ain't no reason for both of us to have black joints. And it made sense to what he said. So I didn't know, I didn't know he was going to get the black joint.
Okay.
But I already had ordered it, so I went and got out. And it didn't make no difference to me if he had a black joint, I had a black joint. I didn't really care.
Okay.
So anyway, being up to age, my man, I said, okay, no problem. So I went back to the car dealer, gave the man a little extra $500. I said, yo, give me another color. Give me a white joint with some blue seats. He had a white joint with some blue seats there. I said, well, give me that joint.
Okay.
So I got the white joint with the blue seats. So I came back and I got more attention with that joint.
Okay.
So the joints was hot.
Okay.
The big 7s ran. We was the first 2 young cats with them.
Okay.
The 735 with no other young cats. These joints was about 55,000 at that time.
That's right.
And we bust out cash with them joints. So
It's a contracts production for Feds magazine.
In doing that, I I was hooked up with 16th Street then, so they was and I had my own motorcycle, so they was going out of town. Matter of fact, they was making a trip to Myrtle Beach, taking the bikes down there for bike weekend.
Okay.
So we threw our bikes on the back trailers and all that. I had my 7. Me and the kid Stan, Rich and A didn't want to go, so the kid Stanley said, "Yo, I'll go with you, Poe."
Okay.
So I wasn't really a highway driver, you know. I like riding in the city front and checking out the hookers and all that. And I ain't feel like driving no 13 hours down to no damn Myrtle Beach.
Okay.
But I wanted to break my joint in and all that, so they had their Benzes and all that down there. They was older than them. They had their Benzes and their BMs and all that. So I said, man, I'm going to take my 7. Brand new joint, put some miles, get some mileage on this joint.
Okay.
So we go down to Myrtle Beach with them. There was a bunch of us. We go down there, Stanley driving, so we get down there. So it's morning time when we get down there. I'm checking out the scenery. All this is leading up to how I got to D.C.
Okay.
I'm checking out the scenery and all that, and at Myrtle Beach, I'm saying, man, I'm thinking I'm going to see hookers, and I'm thinking I'm going to see the females.
Right.
I said, man, I don't like this. So I tell Stanley, I said, yo, man, I'm out of here. I'm going to this Virginia Beach thing that I heard about happening down in Virginia, man.
Okay.
So the day we got to Myrtle Beach, that same day, I said, yo, you feel like driving? Now he got to drive like another 6 hours back towards Virginia Beach.
Okay.
So he said, yo, and Stanley was that kind of driver, and you know, so he said, yo, no problem. So I left Darnell and all them cats down, and then I left them down to Myrtle Beach, and I broke out.
Okay.
They had my bike or whatever. I rolled up out of there. Me and Stanley went to Virginia Beach. It's me and him. So now we rolling up in Virginia Beach early in the morning. It's around 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. Off the hook. We roll up in there with that white joint with the white piping and the white rims. So we roll up in the town with that joint. And at this time, Stanley's driving the car at the time. I'm just in the passenger seat. We roll up in this town. Everybody's looking at whoever's out in the morning getting breakfast or going to the restaurants. And they looking at these joints. These 2 young cats coming up in here, and we like, man, what the hell? Where the hell is everybody? So we don't really know nobody down there. We don't know what's happening. So we wind up getting a room. And this was the first year. I think this was '86 for me or something. 87. We wake up. It's around 4, 5 o'clock in the evening now. The joint is jam-packed. It was like 7, 8 girls to like every one dude. So now, in that, I met some D.C. cats down there.
Okay.
And I met some D.C. cats down there at the time because they seen the joint, young, out-of-towner, getting money. So I met them, and we exchanged numbers or whatever, and they told me about this Patti LaBelle thing that was happening, King's Dominion.
Okay.
So, again, Rich and them, they wasn't really trying to go nowhere like that, They was more to staying in Harlem.
Okay.
So I told A, I said, yo, hey, let me hold that 190, man, and with the Louis Vuitton seats and all that. So I took that joint down to Patti LaBelle, to the Patti LaBelle show. I had Gucci stuff from Dapper Dan.
That's right.
So they never seen none of that stuff in a car and all that. So, and I had that 190, and I'm young, and I'm pushing that joint. They like New York tags. Anytime I went to any of them events, I made sure I had New York tags.
New York tags.
Wasn't no Jersey, none of that crap. New York tags. So that was my first like out of town experience. So in that, I met some girls from D.C. because they was really on the Gucci jackets that I had in the Louis Vuitton. So they stepped to me and was like, well, what's your name, this and that. I told them where I was from, blase, blase. One thing led to another. We exchanged numbers. They the ones that told me, said, yo, the end of August, the last weekend or whatever, Virginia Beach be having this thing.
Okay.
So that's how I got there. So we invite them up to New York. So we like, yo, man, they come to New York. We gotta lay the script down. Let them know we doing our thing up here.
Okay.
So me and Rich, we decided, yo, we gonna buy some Porsches. So we had this dude out in the Porsche dealer in Jersey. So we went out there, and that's when the new 944 turbos was coming out.
Okay.
And they also weren't convertibles, but they were new.
Okay.
They were new joints. They was just hitting the market. They wanted like 40 for each joint or something. So we was like, yo, that's what we gonna get. So Richie, the burgundy one he liked. I wanted a black one, but again, they didn't have it ready for that day, and we wasn't trying to wait. So I seen a silver one with some like burgundy seats, and the color combination was cool. And I just visioned it with some silver BBs on there and all that. And Rich joint was gonna have some burgundy joints. So we had about 70, 75 in a bag. And I said they wanted like anywhere from 35 to 40,000 for each joint. Okay. So we was like, yo, here's 75 for 2 joints right now. And it was like, bet. So now we ready. We we got new joints. They gonna see. They gonna be like, okay, we messing with some ballers.
Okay.
So and the weekend went beautiful. They had a wonderful time.
Okay.
And they went back to D.C.
Okay.
So now they back in D.C. So I'm keeping in contact with the girl Karen. Rich is keeping in contact with the girl Inga. So now that's what 45th. So 45th Street is starting to just become a headache to me now.
Okay.
So I'm starting to say to myself, you know what? I'm about to leave this thing alone. So in the process of doing that, I go down to D.C. The girl Karen invites me down to D.C. And I go on down there. I put my jewelry together, and I go on down there by myself. And I'm getting familiar with everybody. When I'm in D.C. for a little while, I'm in D.C. with the girl Karen because she know everybody. Everybody know her because she used to mess with some serious ballers in that town. So I'm in there. So I come to find out that they think I'm the police down there because she takes me up to this place called the Florida Avenue Grill where back then everyone used to go eat. And if you was a baller, you go there to eat and get your car washed. So they started whispering and all that. Amongst the whispers, she has an uncle that found out that, yo, that dude you with, a lot of these dudes think he's a federal agent, but in the same time, I don't know that this kid named Red Jack from the east side that I used to look up to as far as in the hustling game, he's down there also with this kid that we wind up killing later on. He's down there with him getting money. And he's down there with him getting money. And he starts hearing that I'm down there. He starts letting them know, like, yo, that kid Alpo, no, he ain't nothing police about him. He's doing his thing up in New York and this and that. He's legit. If he's down here, he's trying to come down here. You know, he starts telling me, if he's down here, he's trying to come down here and do some things and all that. So down there at the time, what was real popular was the Chevy Blazers, the little joints.
Okay.
Two-door Chevy Blazers. A lot of dudes had them joints. So those were real popular down there. So I said, man, I'm gonna get me one of them joints and just blend right in. So now I got me a new truck. So they really looking like, yo, he was just down here with a Porsche. That's in the shop. Now he got a truck.
Right.
So again, my name is getting popular, and I meet this kid named Fat Rodney. Me and him became real cool. He got killed later on, but me and him became real cool. So I wound up hooking up with this kid named Cliff Cobbs.
Okay.
He come from a real known neighborhood in D.C.
Okay.
And a lot of people respected him and his brother Roy and that whole little crew. It was a whole little crew of them. Because D.C., they quick for their guns, man.
Okay.
They kill you in a minute, especially if they know you're from out of town. So I wound up staying with the girl Karen and her family, and I wound up just giving 45th Street to the kid Jay. Now my thing is out of town, and I'm a wholesaler.
Okay.
So I wound up getting a couple of $100,000 out of my stash. I didn't deal no more with blocks and things of that nature. I wound up just going down there being a wholesaler.
Okay.
And again, I was seeing anywhere. At first, I was seeing like maybe $6,000 off of every brick. Then, you know, as prices and other people start coming into the town and all that, I wound up seeing maybe $4. And then it got to a point I was seeing anywhere from the lowest it got was anywhere from $2,500 to $3,000.
Okay.
Off a brick. And that was good for me because sometimes I would go to D.C. with 30 bricks and sell them all in one day. Whew. Yeah, because I had good customers. I had anywhere from 10 to 15 good customers because I was giving it to them at a good price. Because if D.C. was letting them go, if someone had them in D.C. for 21, 22, I was letting them go for 18. Okay. So in all of that, I wound up meeting some other cats. This young cat by the name of Pop and this other cat's name and the process of putting coke in that town, I wound up meeting some cats named Kirk Bone.
Okay.
This fat kid named Kirk Bone. Rafe, the kid Rayful, he was a well-known. He was like one of the biggest cats coming up out of D.C.
Okay.
He doing life now in prison, but I wound up meeting him, and you know when he went to jail, that's when I really, basically almost like really took over the town. So I wind up. So things started getting kind of crazy for me. I was into, like my little man Pop, I was introduced to him by some other cats, and he was a young, wild 15-year-old kid coming out Southeast that was killing anything moving. And he just wanted to be up under somebody that was going to look out for him.
Okay.
So I wound up taking him up under my wing and looking out for him, and through him I wound up meeting another cat named Wayne Perry.
Okay.
Now this kid here, I mean, he had the town on lock, and I mean, he had the town locked on fear and was putting his murder game down. You hear me? Anyone who mentioned his name knew, when they mentioned his name, they mentioned murder in the same sentence, because he was about his work. and didn't have no problem with talking about it and telling everybody and didn't care. And if you tried to go testify or tell on him, he was getting you. So the young kid Pop wound up coming to me saying, yo, my man is in jail, this and that. So his bail was like something, I think I had to pay like 10%, which was like $10,000.
Okay.
I wound up giving up the whole $10,000 because I seen the bigger picture.
Right.
I said, if I get this kid out and the reputation that he has, then all that'll come on my side.
Right.
So I wound up giving up the whole 10, and it was a 10 well worth it. So I wound up getting him out. I didn't really step to him as soon as I got him out. I just let it be known through my little man. We
How
wound
does
up,
a 15-year-old man know him?
because my little man had an uncle that knew him.
Okay.
So my little man had the reputation of being wild and about his business. So his uncle was wild too, my little man's uncle. And him and the kid Wayne knew each other.
Okay.
So, and then Wayne, that's how he met him, and Wayne knew what my little man was about.
Okay.
So, you know, killers respect killers and all that type of thing. So we wound up hooking up, and we became real tight, me and the kid Wayne. And, you know, I got a lot of negative feedback. A lot of people were like, yo, we ain't really trying to mess with you like that because you got the kid Wayne running with you. Because a lot of dudes was scared of this dude. You know, it was little things going around like, yo, if you go get coke from the kid Poe after you get the coke, he puts the kid Wayne in them on you. So a lot of dudes were scared, but they was just doing that because they was scared of him, and they was really upset to see him out of jail.
Right.
So they was like, you know, they was hoping he'd stay in jail.
Right.
So they really feared this dude, and this kid was a real good dude, man. He was a loyal dude, man. And again, so he really respected that I got him out, and he felt that I owed him. Okay. He felt that he owed me. Okay. So one thing led to another, and he became I'm not going to say my lieutenant because he didn't really have anything to do with my business. He had something to do with it, but he didn't handle the drugs and none of that stuff. He handled more of the security aspect of it, like if it was time to put the murder game down, or if someone was getting disrespectful, you know, or if someone was trying to come at me, or then that's when he stepped in. I had to trust him, but I just always said the less he knows about as far as where my stashes are, where I'm keeping the money,
right,
things that the better it is, because I always said, well, I'm worth more him alive than dead.
Right.
Because if he don't know where the money's at or the stash is at, why would he ever want to bring harm to me when I'm feeding him?
Right.
So I became real strong in D.C. along with my own rep from New York, and now with him, we became real strong in the town as far as like, yo, they dangerous. And I pretty much had the town I pretty much had that small town on lock for a good period of time, man. It was like, because we went at a lot of the dudes that was supposedly holding it down.
You say you went after them, what do you mean?
When I say I went after them, because a lot of people were starting to talk about, well, we got to get rid of the kid Pope because he's getting too much money, and he's not even from here.
I did hear you got shot.
I got shot because they was trying to kidnap me in D.C. My little man, I had a little dude. This little dude is the dude that killed Rich with me. He was getting money too. He was one of my best customers. He was really holding it. He had a beef with another crew, and we couldn't really get at them because they knew us, and they knew how we was coming and all that. So we had to hire like a ally. And this kid he volunteered to be the ally, but he wound up being a statistic. The day I was supposed to meet him up at this car wash, because I had bought these cars and I had these guns for him. The day I was supposed to meet him up at this car wash, he had other plans. They was going to try to kidnap me.
Okay.
So we would just leave it at that. They was going to try to kidnap me, and I wound up getting hit that day.
You wound up getting hit?
Yeah, I wound up getting hit in my ribs. The only thing that saved me, like I said, the only thing that saved me that day, because I was going to get this girl, the only thing that saved me that day was that as I'm talking to this dude, he looks over my shoulder. And when he looked over my shoulder, I followed his eyes. And when I followed his eyes, I seen about 4 dudes coming to try to grab me.
Okay.
And I start running. Next thing I know, I feel bullets and all that coming past my head and hitting off the wall and all that. And one caught me in the ribs.
That's when you figured, hey, put Wayne Perry in effect.
Yeah, that's when I figured, because he was already there, but then I just said, okay, now it's really just time to just bring him closer.
Okay.
And because, like I said, he knew everybody. Everyone that was about that conniving, trifling, killing people for this and that.
Like, what was the downfall?
The downfall for that whole thing is like, again, it was a domino effect. The whole thing was, you know, rich family Richard's family, which is Peanut,
Okay.
Nathaniel Watkins.
Okay.
He told on me. Him and his girl told on me, and they told on me because Peanut one time needed like 125 grams for like a good customer that he had, and he couldn't wait.
Okay.
So Richard called me and said, "Yo, Paul, do me a favor, man. Nut's gonna come see you, and take care of him, and I'll take care of you when you come to New York."
Okay.
So I did that for Rich. I did that for Rich. I took care. So I called, and we wind up hooking up, and his cousin comes to D.C. to get that.
Okay.
Several months later, his little organization down there get busted. So they wind up getting like crazy time. And now, after this, Richard is dead. And the only thing I ever did with his cousin